Welcome back. This section we're going to talk about homework for tonight. And as part of your homework, what we want everyone to do is paper trade the software to get familiar with it, to get a comfort level established that the probability factors really work and they are what we teach them to be, and to really get in and just kind of start to understand how everything works with these types of trades. So for your homework tonight, we'd like you to go back in time and paper trade or back test. You're going to go back in time and you're going to back test historical information or trades that have already ended. And I want you to forward test that starting back in 2012 and come all the way forward to present, to right now here in 2014. I want you to select the preferred trades when available, okay, and that's an important point. I want you to set one trade per month. So you're talking about 2012, 13, and then this year. So you've got, 20, 30 some odd trades that you're going to, about 30 trades that you're going to set. Next, I want you to follow all the entry rules that we've talked about. And I want you to close all the trades out following the exit rules that we've talked about as well. The other thing I want you to remember is to bring a copy of your IRA or 401k statements so you can learn how to self-direct that money. We're going to talk about that tomorrow, but I want you to bring a copy of that with you as well. So for your homework, I'm going to spend the next 15, 20 minutes showing you how to go in and accomplish this homework. So to begin with, each of you are going to go to the software, and again, you get to log in. It's all web-based, so you can log right in, and this is what you're going to see. And now you have the ability to go in and start doing your back testing. And in order to do that, you're going to go into the button that says My Trades, and you're going to click on the button that says Set New Trade. And this screen is going to come up, and you're going to then click on the trade date. And this is going to allow you to click on a calendar and go back in time all the way to the beginning of 2012. Once you get to that time period, you're going to have to select a date to begin trading. So you could choose any day at random for January of 2012. So if I chose the 10th, once I select the date, I click the button that says Get Trades. And what's going to happen is the software is going to go out and it's going to look back in history and it's going to say, what trades did Option IQ's technology recommend on that day? And what's going to happen is those will all be displayed on our screen to look at. So let's give it a second, and it's going to come up and populate our screen with those trades. Once these trades come up, we're going to be able to choose a trade. And as I said a moment ago, I want everybody to focus on setting these trades following the rules. So you're going to choose the preferred trade if there is a preferred trade available. If there's not a preferred trade available, then we recommend using the Iron Condor trade. And I would recommend setting the Iron Condor trade that has the most amount of time left on it. So the longest term trade, okay? So here we are. Here's the trades for this time period. We see all these Iron Condors. There's quite a few of them that are offered. So we're going to choose the longer term trade. So on this screen, I see January, February, and March. We're just going to have you go in and choose the longer term, which is the March trades, and set one of these in your account. I'm also going to recommend you use the E-mini for all of your trades. So I click down here. The one that I've highlighted in orange is an E-mini S&P 500. It has 66 days left. The probability factor for the put is 8.9%. The call is 7.4%. The current market price is $1,286.1, or that was the current price on that day. I'm going to sell a put at 1070 and a call at 1425. That's a really wide spread. I'm going to have 921 on paper, because this is back testing, that I would have had to have in my account that day to place this trade. If everything goes well, I'm targeting $79 as my net target profit, which is an 8.6% return on cash and a 47.4% TVI reading. To the right of that, I've put my mouse over the paper button. Paper meaning back testing or paper trading. We're not putting any money in these. We can't put live money in these because they happened a couple years ago. So I'm going to go ahead and click the paper button. And now you see displayed on the screen the actual trade and all the details that we kind of just highlighted. But now it's all right there on your screen. Now, in order to paper trade, all I have to do is select my test account, which you guys aren't going to see all these other ones, but you'll see your test account, which is a 999 and then a bunch of zeros, and it'll say test next to it. So once I choose that, I've now chosen the test account that I'm going to put this trade into. I also have a trade name on this, and down at the bottom of the screen, I have the ability to hit the Set Trade button. So let's go ahead and do that. We've now set the back testing trade or the paper trade for January of 2012. The next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the information for each day that I was in this trade to determine if there was a day that I should have got out following the Option IQ rules. So in order to do that, first I see the graph. I can see the market went up during my trade. If I scroll down, I can see each and every day that I was in this trade. And as I go down to this information, I'm going to be looking each day at the probability factor here and here to make sure that it never reaches 40. And I'm also going to be looking at the profit and loss percentage of target profit right here, making sure that it doesn't hit 70 without me looking at it. So let's look at this trade. Day one, probability factors are fine. We scroll down the page. We had a probability factor of 10% there. We continue down. Never did see a probability factor over that 10% on any of those days. So I can immediately tell you that this trade had no issues when it came to risk. Sure, it looked like it was getting close to the sold call towards the end of the trade, but it ended up being just fine. The next thing I'm going to look at is my percentage of target profit. Did I ever reach a large amount of profit? What I'm looking for here is a number 70 or more. As soon as I see more than 70, it's at 84%. And the rule is if I reach 80% or more of profit, but I still have greater than 10 days left, I can exit the trade. So according to our rules, this is the day that I could exit the trade. This yellow is just showing the date up above that I have my mouse on the chart. So when you get on the chart and play with it, it'll change where this yellow line goes. But you'll notice 84%, that follows the rules, so I don't even need to check on this one for the proximity rule. I simply come in here where it says 84%, and I click the little red button to exit the trade on this day. I don't change any of the numbers. I leave them as they were and hit exit trade, and immediately that trade is exited as if I got out. If I scroll down here, it's exited as if I got out with 84%. You'll notice on this day, that's when I got out, and all the days after that say the exact same amount. So that was the day I closed the trade. Now, this trade will also be located under the Closed Trades page, which is right here under the My Trades button. So if I click on that button, it's going to show me that this trade that I just went and set has now been closed out and recorded. So I'm going to show you that. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and click on Closed Trades, and I've selected the year 2012 for the trade that I set. And now I'm going to come down and I'm going to see that paper trade that I just closed out. I see all the details, and now it shows here that I closed it out at $66.50 of the target 79. This is because we got out of the trade early because it hit more than 80% of its target profit. So I exited the trade. It's now recorded it. It records the profit or loss, and it now keeps a running tally of all the trades that I do in my account. So this is how you're going to actually backtest and see, hypothetically, how would you have done if you were paper trading or live trading during that period of time. So we've now set a trade. We've exited the trade. So I want to go back in now and I want to show you how to do it again. So we're going to go through the exact same process. So now I go up to the top. I click on the My Trades button and set new trade. I click on the date, and now I'm going to go back to February of 2012. And now I'm going to randomly choose a date there. I'll just choose the 10th again, and I click Get Trades. Now the software has to think about this for a minute. It's going to go out and find out what trades were available that Option IQ's technology created for that day. So now we're going to go out. So far we've set one trade. Everything worked out. It hit its profit back in 2012. We've got one paper trade under our belt. Now once you really know how to do this, it's going to take you 5 minutes to do one of these trades or less. Okay? So this one I'll do a little bit faster so you kind of get the hang of what we're doing, kind of get the groove. But essentially all we're doing is setting one trade right after another. So I'm just going in and saying, okay, I put one on in January, I want to put one on in February, March, and it's just going to help me back test the system to prove that the software works and that it does what we say that it does. Okay? So now I've gone back in time. I've still got all these iron condors up here. And like I said, if there's not a preferred trade, I want you to go back to the longest term trade, and I want you to go to the E-mini one, which would be the April down here at the bottom. That's the one I want you to set. So I come over to the far right, I click this little button here that says paper, and it brings up all the details. Now, you already know what the details mean, or all these buttons mean, so I'm going to select my test account, and I'm going to go ahead and click the button here that says set trade. So just like that, I just set my second trade. Now I've got to review it to make sure that if I was in this trade, I would have got out at the right time following the rules. So now we see a chart of the trade. Everybody can see that this trade did fine. It went all the way to expiration. It stayed between our red lines, so there's no issues there. Let's look at the daily details. The trade starts out red just like they all do, and then after a little bit of time, it starts to go into the green. Again, all I care about here are the P factors and the percentage of profits and the proximity rule. So first, P factors. These two columns here and here, quickly evaluate those. By the way, if it hits 40, it'll turn red on this screen. So I can quickly go down and see that there's no red in either of those columns. This trade goes all the way to the end, and it never hit 40. So this one worked out. There wasn't enough risk to close it out. Now we go over and we look at our profit loss section, also known as percentage of target profit. We look down this section and we see that there were certain days that we got up around 61%, 65%. Here's the first day I hit 70. How many days did I have left? 22 days. So I'm at 73% with 22 days to go. According to the rules, that's where we get out. So I click the red X on this day. We don't even have to go in and look at the proximity rule here. So I click that and don't change anything here. Click Exit Trade. Now the trade has been exited. To see just a snapshot view of the trade, I go to Close Trades, and I'm going to click on the year 2012. And it's going to bring up that second trade that I just set, and here it is here. So now I've set two paper trades. I'm back testing the system. I did one in January of 2012. I did one in February of 2012. Both of those trades worked out. I'm going to continue this exact same process, paper trading from 2012, the beginning, one trade per month, all the way until present. Okay? So that's how you're going to do this. So let me just flash back to the homework screen. So again, the homework. Paper trade the year 2012 to present. Select preferred trades when available. If they're not, choose the iron condor trade that has the longest amount of time. Set one trade per month. Follow all the entry rules. close trades following the exit rules. And remember tomorrow to bring a copy of your retirement account, IRA or 401k statement with you so that we can explain to you how you can self-direct that money and use it to trade this type of strategy. That's it for today's class. That concludes today's class, so we'll talk to you tomorrow.